Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Skidmore's Giving Day. Here with me now is Colleen Burke, Executive in Residence and Director of the Skidmore Saratoga Consulting Partnership and a member of the Department of Management and Business. Welcome, Colleen. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, and hi, everybody out there. We miss you all.
So I figure we could start with MB 107, which is known as the cornerstone of the Management and Business Department. Can you tell us more about this course?
So this course is my baby. I absolutely love it, but I just stopped teaching it 10 minutes ago, so I just ran out of an MB 107 class, so it's maybe too present in my mind. But MB 107 is this magical course, as far as I'm concerned. 7,500 alums have taken this course. We taught the first course in the first section of it in fall of 1981. So this semester will be the 71st semester that we are taking our freshman students through a Harvard MBA-based cases course and taking them down to a local hotel to make a case presentation to real executives. So this, there's nothing in my life that has lasted this long, has been this sustainable as this course, and still has the magic in it. And so I couldn't be prouder than being part of teaching this course. Some of you knew it as BU 107 because the business department used to be business and now it's management and business. We call the course MB 107. And probably most of you who are alums that took the course remember which case you did. And people will run up to me and say, I took it in 1986. And I go, oh, you did Nike. And they go, how do you remember that? But I remember every case we did in the 80s. This semester, we're doing Starbucks. And it's a super case. And the students are trying really hard to come up with a way for Starbucks not only to increase their revenues, but to do so leaving no carbon footprint. So the challenges that the students take on now have at least a financial dimension and an environmental dimension to them. So what can I say about it? So as you remember, those of you who have taken the course, at the end of the semester, you have a team all the way through the semester, and at the end of the semester, you go to a local hotel, the Gideon Putnam, or now we go to the executive suites, and you make a presentation before executives, and they give you 25% of your grade. And what's really neat is that the first time I taught the course in 1981, we were scrounging for executives. Would anybody please put on a suit and come here and grade our students? Now we have a wait list of executives and parents who have lived through the course with their children, who have taken the course themselves. Lots of alums come every December and then again every April to grade our students. And we have a wait list of people who want to come and grade. So it's become a wonderful multi-generational experience because I have a student in my class right now whose dad took the course, and last semester I had a student whose mother was in my first section in 1981. In fact, I think I've had 3 students, and so parents seem to have either like the course or think that their own kids should go through this and actually send them to Skidmore and then come to our class. So it's just got such stories to it now. It's just rich with story.
That is wonderful. What would you say are some of the reasons why this course is so popular?
You know, when we created this course, we created it to be a barrier to entry because we thought if the course was hard enough, there would be fewer people majoring in business. And we thought we had too many business majors. Currently, 100 people out of the senior class last semester were business majors. So it doesn't seem that our idea worked. It doesn't keep people away. In fact, it seems to attract people. But the first day of class, you walk in and it's all case method, case study. You get a packet of Harvard Business School cases. You buy them directly from Harvard. You're a freshman, and all of a sudden there you are face to face with what should McDonald's do next, and what should the one I just did, Nike, do next, and what should Tesla do next, and what should Google do next? And we go through them all. We just did Apple last week. We did Patagonia always, because they all love that one. But and the students are asked to be analysts and to learn all these skills. So it's unlike any other, I think, any other introductory course anywhere, because there's no multiple choice questions. They're not learning words. They're learning analysis and concepts and theories that are derived out of the cases. And so I think that's the magic of it. I fell in love with case study when I was getting my MBA, and I was hired in 1981 here at Skidmore because I had so much background in case, so that we could create this course and start it. So, and then I was gone for 25 years. I left in 1990, and I just came back 6 years ago when I had retired from the real world. And I'm back teaching it again, and it makes me so happy that it still has the same magic. Everyone's really afraid before they go into that presentation, and when they walk out, they feel so good about themselves. And we have, every major is in there. I have art majors. I have a physics major this semester. I have about 20 upperclassmen in my 2 sections from all different majors. So a lot of people think, if I'm going to take one course so I can run my gallery or understand enough business to be an investor once I've graduated, they take this one course. So it's really services the whole campus, not just the business department. And it's so cool.
I love that, and your passion is
I love that
pouring out. It's wonderful.
Okay.
So speaking of the executive presentation, which is one element of the MB 107, do you have a favorite or one or a memorable executive presentation of all the years you've taught this class?
I have a couple that would be embarrassed, and people out in the audience probably if I actually told them. But one thing was really special last semester. We were doing JCPenney, and JCPenney opens up all the issues of what's happening with the middle class and what's happening to department stores and what's happening with Amazon. So big issues. And the students all walked in, and of course the students are asked to introduce themselves and tell where they're from. And then the executives are asked to introduce themselves. And much to my surprise, every executive in that session I had taught, and each one goes to the students and says, I took this class in the 80s with Colleen, and one actually said, and I got a C- in this presentation when I took it, and now I'm a partner at Deloitte. And I just thought that was hysterical. And the students are sitting there saying, wow, they actually took this course. They understand where we are, but they're really tough. They make sure that these students are really have their financials down, really have a strong strategy, and that they're working together as a team. Most students, when they walk in as freshmen, have never really produced as a team and have gotten a team grade. So even that is getting them ready for the real world, this idea of working in teams. So I was going to mention a couple of wonderful things that have happened. Last year, Forbes magazine, this year, Forbes magazine listed Skidmore as one of the most entrepreneurial colleges in America, and they listed Skidmore as number 7. And in the explanation of how we got that designation, they said the whole campus takes this course called MB 107. And so I don't know how that got translated into being an entrepreneurial college, because we do teach entrepreneurship, and we have our wonderful business plan contest that you've already heard about today. But that they used 107 as one of their explanations. In fact, the management and business department has gotten 3 external recognitions this year that have just wowed us. The Article 30 Great Small College Business Degree Programs listed Skidmore as number 9. And just a month ago, College Finder listed us as a top choice school for studying business. And then Forbes, as I said that we're one of the most entrepreneurial colleges. So the business department is really being recognized in the much broader landscape, both by people like College Finder, which touches our admissions process, but even more importantly, in the business world, we really have people coming here to recruit our students now, and I have alums at everywhere, as I said, from Deloitte to Goldman Sachs, and then to lots of not-for-profits. So they use this education in many, many different ways. It's really fun to watch.
Well, so much to be proud of.
Yeah.
And I forgot to mention at the top of this that if you have any questions for Colleen, please submit them because she'd love to hear from you. You can go to #SkidmoreForLife or click on the chat button and submit your questions that way. So send them on in. I kind of want to turn her over now to the Skidmore Saratoga Consulting Partnership. Can you tell us more about that and who's eligible to take the course?
Yeah. So 4 years ago, well, I came back in 2011 because I turned 65 that year and retired, and then was asked to come back and teach 107 and our capstone course, strategy. And then 4 years ago, Roy Rothheim decided it was time for me to inherit a course he had created called SSEP. We call it SSCP now, which is the Skidmore Saratoga Consulting Partnership. And I love this course. What happens is that it's the only selective course in our department. So students who want to take this course have to have a 3.6 or above average. They have to be nominated by a faculty member, and they have to go through a series of interviews. And they can be from any major in the college. So right now I've got a sociology major, a social work major, an studio art major, and an economics major, and then the rest are all business majors. But it's wonderful the way different ways of thinking come together into this course. The course only has 12 students. Sometimes it has 15, but 12 to 15 is maximum. We go out into the Saratoga community and we consult businesses, both nonprofit and for-profit. We now have a wait list of people waiting for us to consult them. So we've got a reputation which really thrills me, because the first couple of times I taught it, I was out asking people if they would like to be a client. But now for next semester, I have to choose between people who are waiting to be clients, which just says the kind of value our students are creating. So our tagline for this course and this organization's Skidmore Saratoga Consulting Partnership is creative thought, creating value. And our intent is to create value for the Saratoga community. And the students, they walk in and they are consultants. They have to carry themselves as business professionals to these adults who own businesses in town and run not-for-profits in town. And they have to build their own credibility, and then they make this amazing presentation after 12 weeks, a deliverable that includes a PowerPoint presentation and a 40-page consulting report that does everything from financials, marketing, social media, strategy, and your organization, and how to make some changes. And I don't know any other school at the undergraduate level that allows students to get credit for this hands-on work. And this year, just a couple months ago, Skidmore recognized this course as an ACE course, which is a new designation on campus. It's called Applied Civic Engagement. And so we're really proud to be an ACE course at this point, but Skidmore is moving in this direction of more interaction between the community and Skidmore in a learning space. And so I could tell you a little bit about some of our clients.
Yeah, that would be great. I'd love to hear about that.
Last semester was a really fun one because we did the Saratoga Farmers Market, and we thought this is an idyllic place, doesn't need any help. And as soon as we got into it, we discovered how much help it needed. And we signed a non-disclosure agreement. All the students sign it and the client signs it. So we can't share their financials or something, but I have permission from at least 2 or 3 clients to share their stories when I'm asked. And so this farmers market, the students dug in and really found out some really critical governance issues, and then worked with each vendor, helping them learn how to use Foursquare to be able to do electronic cash receipts and stuff. And they reorganized the flow of the whole market based on best practices from the best farmers markets around the world, and particularly used Troy. Then they flew a drone camera over the market to show what was going wrong with the current flow, because there were trucks that were blocking the way. And then we went and gave the presentation, and usually we just give it to the executives of the company or the board of directors. But here, 45 farmers came to BOCES. And when the students were giving the presentation, several of the farmers stood up and cheered, because they said, no one's ever paid attention to us before. And they actually, if you go to the farmers market, they have implemented almost every change. And I went up to the executive director of the farmers market and I said, this is great, you've listened to my students. And she said, actually, we listened to all their surveys and questionnaires. She said, we love the students, but the way they backed it up with numbers and with surveys, and they sat there with iPads and did Qualtrics surveys in the market, and they really do a lot of quantitative backup for their creative ideas. So it's, this semester we're actually working with an alum out at Battenkill Creamery. Seth graduated in 2004 and owns the Battenkill Valley Creamery. We're working with him this semester. We're working with Northshire Bookstore and with Saratoga Today. Next semester we'll be working with exciting Death Wish Coffee, and with a local coffee that has grown very quickly, and with United Preservation Hall, which is working with Proctor. So we do try to do at least one arts organization for those students who are really interested in going on in arts administration. So yes.
That's wonderful. I mean, and there's so much value you can tell for the students and for the businesses. Well,
the students tell us that when they go for interviews and they show their resume, that the interviewer always ask about SSEP. They want to say, how did this happen? How were you able to do that? We did Habitat for Humanity in Saratoga, and Habitat had never built a house in Saratoga. And the executive director quit in the middle of the semester, and we had to actually help them find a new executive director. And then the students interviewed Allardyce, and they interviewed Bonaccio, and they interviewed all over town, 23 different churches. They really interviewed and found out that we could actually build on 2 lots, one on Division Street and one on Cherry, and both those houses are now complete and there's people living in them. And that was only a year and a half ago that we did that. So we've done Saratoga Water Company, the beautiful blue bottle, and we've done the Marketplace Mall downtown. We've done Saratoga Chips. We've done a lot of research across the nation on what the word Saratoga means to audiences. So by doing Saratoga Water, Saratoga Chips, we did Saratoga Juice Bar, and we did Saratoga Mineral Baz, the Roosevelt Baz last semester. So every semester we do 3. So at the end of every year, we've touched 6 major companies in town. It's just so much fun.
Phenomenal. Can you tell me, what do you think these types of hands-on courses, why do you think they're so important for our students?
The students love them. They usually have had enough in-classroom courses that they're able to take this on. The people in the town that, we did Ruin Realty, and Tom Ruin talks about this all the time. They go, these students told them things that they didn't know, because the students are so adept in using social media and in using computers, and they build social media campaigns for these clients that are sitting there saying, how do I make a website? The students then really believe in themselves, and they go out, and one of my students from last semester, when we worked for the mayor of Saratoga doing the Saratoga bike paths, and she's already a consultant at IBM. And so we're building a new career track of consulting, and this spring, we're going to have something called Consulting 101, which we're bringing consultants in. And if there's anybody out there that wants to volunteer, we'd love to have them. But we're working with career development, bringing in consultants from McKinsey and Bain and Deloitte and Boston Consulting Group to do a panel and tell our students, how do you get into the consulting business and as a career, what you need to know, how you need to prepare for the interviews. And so we're already doing that with Wall Street. We bring back alums from all over Wall Street, many you guys all know who you are out there, that come back and to run this wonderful panel and really tell our students, here's what you need to know to get through an interview, to get into these banking institutions. So unlike when I taught here 25 years ago, or 30 years ago, whenever that was, we now have real career paths for our alums, and I'm thrilled to watch what happens this next semester. I'll be teaching strategy to seniors and just watching the jobs that they're getting, and partly because our alums out there have created traction and helped them either using LinkedIn or using one of our career development services. Our alums have just been magical in creating paths that weren't there for us, because some people still thought Skidmore was an all-girls school when they would walk in for their interviews, and not anymore. Our alums, 25 years ago that was true, but now our alums have made such an impression out in the world that they can help us get these students into wonderful jobs where they use these hands-on. So I'm not sure I answered the question.
No, you were great. And that's been such a common theme today, not unsurprisingly, is that intersection between alumni and our students, and the networking and being a resource for one another. And this is just clearly another wonderful example of all of that in its works. What would you say, are either the next steps for either of these programs, or, what's sort of looking down the road a little bit? What do you hope to see?
Let's see. Well, I don't think there's any end to 107. It takes up enormous amounts of resources. Every faculty member is engaged in the course. At some point, everyone gets to go ask the accounting professor to help them with their Excel projections, and go help them, the marketing professor, to please help them come up with a great marketing campaign. So all the teachers are involved, all the faculty are involved. We run dry runs halfway through the semester where our seniors act as executives, and professors are in the room for every one of those dry runs. This week, the library will be completely full of teams of 107 students trying to get to understand what little tweaks they still have to make in their presentation to take it from a B to an A, or C to an A, or whatever, wherever they are right now. And you'll see faculty there in the library till 10 o'clock at night, just going from room to room, listening to dry runs. And then, of course, this major effort of going to a hotel, making all those arrangements, having a lunch, having all these executives come in. So it is a resource-consuming course, but I think that Skidmore and the students love it enough that it will be sustainable, that we will continue to make that course happen as long as people still think it's relevant. I hope SSCP, this consulting course, has a chance to expand. I'd love to teach one semester that was just not-for-profits and one semester that was just for-profits, because the skills are a little bit different, and I'd like to tie in with our arts administration program to do some of the not-for-profits jointly with them. But I see that course as only having the opportunity to grow as Skidmore does more and more civic engagement and embeds the value of giving back to the community that is so supportive of us as students and faculty. So I don't see any limitation to either of these courses. I do see that we'll probably be going because of demand, with more entrepreneurial activities, more innovation and creativity, to bring all the idea of entrepreneurship, creativity, and innovation all tied together with the tagline, creative thought matters. And so I see that there's going to be probably more and more demand for those kind of courses, and working with entrepreneurs like the business plan contest does. So I picture us going in that direction. And one major thing that's happening with the department is we are more and more embedding ourselves in the liberal arts community, so that every course has to have some technology, some art, something to do with the arts, and something to do with the environment and sustainability, something to do with business history and philosophy and ethics. So we have a set of pillars that are trying to bridge ever more the liberal arts community and the business community on this campus, because it is very, very unique to have a business department in a liberal arts school. We're one of the only ones in the Northeast that have it, and it really has an impact on both who comes to the school. It's a competitive advantage at admissions, and it certainly is a competitive advantage as we put students into the workplace. So I just see it not growing, not becoming the biggest department ever, but basically staying in equilibrium with the liberal arts values of Skidmore, but being an important and integral piece of that puzzle. Anyway,
that is wonderful. Thank you so
okay.
much.
It was so much fun to be here.
Your passion and your enthusiasm are just very
well. There's so many people out there
and
that I love.
Great to have you here.
Okay, well, tell anyone that's out there, just know I miss you, and come back to campus and come see us and be an executive for 107, or just come and talk to my class anytime I'm here for the next couple of years.
All right, okay. Thank you so much, Colleen. And we'll be right back.
Okay, we did it.